Okay, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about planning because I think a lot of times we can tend to kind of leave what happens in this business up to, well, we'll see what happens. And I'm a firm believer that planning is what allows you to have success and take advantage of opportunities as they come your way, just not only in this business, but also in life. So I really want everyone to, I think we get sometimes stuck in what's happening now or, frustrations of now or just what to do now. But I really want everyone to start thinking about what their life could be in, say, a year from now. So, like, where could you be 365 days from today if you put 100% intention into every action that you did in this business? Because I think a lot of times, and it's not uncommon because we do this business alongside other things, like another job, or just the fact that nobody exists in a Beachbody bubble, right? We have families, we have other outside stressors, houses to take care of, responsibilities, etc. So what would change about the way your business looks a year from now if you literally went to bed every night and planned out your perfect morning routine the next morning? Right? And what would it look like if you every day night planned out exactly how you're going to be successful the next day in your business? I think what happens a lot of times, not only in this business, but also in life, is that we don't take complete ownership of everything. We want to own the successes, right? When we have successes, we are like, oh my God, I did awesome. We want to own that. But when we have failures, we want to point the finger at something else or give a reason to something else that things aren't working. And again, like I said, this is not only in this business, but it's also in life. So we don't say circumstances led to our success. We say we did successful things. But if we struggle or fail, we like to say that it's the circumstances, right? Like maybe it's COVID or quarantine or people giving you objections or ghosting you or all of that stuff. So I really want everyone to just stay today, write it in big capital letters on the page that you're taking notes in. I am going to make my life a success. Because when we can take ownership of that we are in control of making our life a success, we don't feel like we're leaving it in the hands of others. We are going to create it. You can really change your life any second. You can change the trajectory of this business every second. We say this all the time, that any day can be day one. There are a lot of people in here who were coaches for years before they decided to actually make day one of their business. That's fine. And you can actually make it a couple times. If you started it and then stopped it, you can just make your day one again. So a lot of times we get to this mentality, oh my gosh, it's taking me so long to get to where I am, it's going to take me another 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year to get where I want to be. And that's really not the case. I feel like you can start changing actions at any time. And I don't even mean like tomorrow when you wake up, like literally the second you get off this call, you could start and plan your day tomorrow, write down actions that you're going to do, what time you're going to do them, and maybe something different pushing you outside your comfort zone. I heard this quote, which is amazing, and I'm totally going to be using it for a post tomorrow. You are under no obligation to be the person you were 5 minutes ago. So if the person you were 5 minutes ago was the person that was not doing their daily vitals, or the person that was not, doing their PD or making their connections, or the person who was not fully committed to this business, or the person who was doubtful of themselves, or the person who was skeptical of success, all of that stuff. Like, you don't have to be that person. You can literally change your mind in any second to just be somewhere else. So imagine where your life would be if you had that mentality. And you put intention in everything you did. Like, where would you be in the next 365 days? And part of me likes to always reflect on the past 365 days and say, did I show up every day? Did I do this business with intention? And where did it get me? And if I was happy with that success, awesome. If not, did I really show up every day? Could I have shown up more? Could I have been more intentional about what I was doing? Could I have been more focused? Could I have had a different mindset around it? So, we hear this saying a lot, act like the coach you want to be, but it's so true, you guys. You have to act as if. I know for me, I want a 6-figure business next year. I want a 7-figure business in the future. I want to be a superstar diamond coach. So I'm showing up every day like that. And I was showing up as a 2-star when I was an emerald. And I was showing up as showing up now as a 10-star, as a 4-star, because I know that to get to where I want to be, it means doing the things that those coaches are doing. You don't wait until you get there, because you won't get there, right? So it's a matter of acting as if and thinking about the perfect version of yourself, right? And not only in this business, but also in life, like, and be that person today. So if you were tempted to say, oh my God, my time is really crunched, I'm just going to skip my vitals today. Like, with the perfect version of you, do that. Or like, I'm just not feeling like inviting, so I'm not going to send invites today. I'll just make a post and hope someone reaches out. Like, with the perfect version of you, do that. Or my alarm went off early so I could get my business hours in, but I'm going to hit snooze. Like, with the perfect version of you, do that. With the version of you who is that coach that you say you want to be, or where you want to be in this business, would that person do those things? So every time we're tempted to treat this business as optional, or the work we do as optional, you know, we're obviously treating our results in this business as optional. And ultimately, your life and your success in this business are in your hands. So, you know, when you think about any other major business, the CEO is responsible if the business fails, right? Like, where does the blame get pointed? But if the business succeeds, that's also because attributed to the CEO. So you really have to act like you're the CEO of your business, because you are, and truly the CEO of your life, because you are. So you have to show up like that person that's going to take complete responsibility for everything that happens, every success, every failure, every struggle, everything. So if you succeed, you say, you know, I succeeded because I kicked ass. And if you failed, it's not because of a job or kids or COVID or some outside circumstances. It's because maybe there's something that we could have done differently. So taking full responsibility for your success in this business and full ownership of any struggles that you have. And the beauty of, I think, like, really sitting and taking full ownership of these things is that it means that you're in control to turn everything around, right? Like, we're all willing to take control of our success. But if we're saying that any of our struggles are due to outside circumstances, then we're saying those are things we can't control, which I don't believe to be true. Like, I really truly believe that we can control all of those things. So planning is so important, because, you know, you think about, like, if a new business opened down the road, right? Like a restaurant or a store or whatever, there would probably be business plans before the doors opened, right? And oftentimes we jump into this and we don't have business plans, but we open our doors. And we might exist. I think I existed as a coach for years without having a business plan, but my doors were open, you know? So, like, my doors are open, but I didn't have office hours, right? So, like, do you have business hours? Do you have hours that you're set to work? You know, if a restaurant opened down the road, you would think, like, what hours will you be open? What type of food will you offer? Or what service will you offer if you're providing a service? Who do we serve, right? Who are the people that we're serving? What kind of income do we project to gross in that year? So these are all things you should be thinking about. And the reason I want to talk about this now, yes, it's August, but I truly think that you have to start planning all these things in the last quarter of the year, the last few months, September through December. Because as we know, if you've been in this business through the turn of a calendar year, what you do in the next upcoming months, totally going to set yourself up for what happens in January, right? We know this. And if you haven't been in, something to know is that, you know, you think about marketing around the holidays. Next month, we're probably going to get catalogs with Christmas stuff in it to start searching, right? Or decorations or whatever. And the reason that companies send that stuff out is because they already want to be on your mind, so that when you do go to do the Christmas shopping or the holiday shopping or whatever, you've been looking at their stuff. Like, that's on your brain. You know who you're going to go to. So it's the same thing in this business. When January rolls around and everybody wants to make their New Year's resolution and get healthy and fit again, we don't want to just show up then, right? We want to have the conversations, plant the seeds, build the relationships now, so that when they are looking to get in shape, get healthier, change the way they're eating, whatever, they're coming to us, and that we've built that trust in that relationship, and that we're not just showing up in January saying we'll take the holidays off and we'll kind of cruise and then we'll show up. The other thing to keep in mind is with Beachbody The Brilliance is that they're always launching fabulous new programs, like we are in December with 9-week Control Freak. So again, there's just huge opportunity for growth, as you've seen with the MBF launch and things like that. So we absolutely have to plan for that. So, like, think about now, who's the coach you want to be next year? Where do you want to be 365 days from now when you're sitting here at the end of your summer? You know, we will have just had Summit officially, hopefully there. You know, who's that going to wait till January to start that, because you're starting to plant the seed now. What do you want to do with your income next year? How much are you hoping to make? Are you looking to grow a team, or are you looking to just help customers? How many per month? What does that look like for you? Oftentimes we don't define our own version of success in this business. We kind of wait and see what happens. instead of setting those benchmarks and those goals for ourselves. And so this is the time where really we want to start planning for all that coming up. So, what if you sat down and said, what do I want 10 years from today? And what do I want 1 year from today? And then now that I know what I want, what do I need to do to get there? Let's make a plan. Let me look at that plan every morning and remind myself, number one, what I'm working towards. And number two, what I need to do every day to get there. So having that plan in mind keeps you motivated to show up to do it, and then keeps you focused on the tasks that you need to do to get there. Because honestly, you guys, success in this business is not hard. It is not hard. But the thing of it is that it's not glamorous. It's a bunch of the mundane tasks that get done every day over and over and over and over and over again. And then in 1 year, in 2 years, in 5 years, you look back and say like, oh my God, I made it to this place that I never thought I would be. And I didn't really do anything crazy to get there, but I'm there. But it's the boring stuff that you do every day, like our daily vitals, that's going to get you there. It's not glamorous. Nobody wants to follow. We all think we want to follow these top coaches, but nobody wants to sit here and watch us reach out, make connections, right? Read our PD, develop posts. It's not fancy. It's not glamorous, but it's the stuff that's going to get you where you want to be. So, really get clear on where you want to go, come up with a plan on how you're going to get there, and then sticking with it and doing the things every day. That's your simple formula for success. Where do I want to go? What do I need to get there? And then doing those things every day over and over and over and over again. Okay. So that way, when that voice in your head shows up and says I'm not good enough, I'm not going to be successful in this business, nobody wants to join my team, or nobody wants me to help coach them, you can say, no, shush, voice, because I know these are the things that if I do them over and over and over again, over time will make me successful. Really like that cliche saying, feel the fear and do it anyway. I think we have this misconception that people who are uber successful don't have the fear. And I would kind of beg to differ that they do, but they just keep going anyway, where other people feel the fear and that's what makes them stop. So I urge you, when you have the doubts and when you have the fears and you have all of that, that you just keep going. Because I've been there 1,000 times. Every first of the month, we all start at goose egg with Success Club points, right? And I've had months that it's this 20th of the month and I don't have a point in the board. And it's oh, that's it. Jig is up. I guess my business is over. It's not over, you guys. So you got to just show up and keep going, regardless of whether you're feeling fearful, doubtful, or anything like that. Because confidence is not, no one was born with this confidence to be a Beachbody coach, right? I didn't grow up saying, I'm going to be the best online health and fitness coach, right? Didn't cross my mind. So confidence comes with the results. And that results come with failure and failing forward. So if you fail, and you have a little success and you celebrate that, you're building a little confidence, and then you're going to go forward and you're going to have failure. That's going to lead to success. And then it's going to build your confidence and you go forward. So to me, it's a matter of hopping from both over those failures to those things that boost your confidence. So one thing I want everyone to really do is start planning now for September, because I'm always the one that says hope for the best, plan for the worst, right? Because we don't know what's going to happen. You might get a plan for school next week and the way it's going to look and the way you think your schedule is going to go. And then in a week or two, it could completely change. And then in a month, you could be cruising and and then it could completely change again. So that's kind of why I want to talk about this, because we don't want to make our plan circumstantial. Right? So yes, let's plan right now. What would the ideal day look like? Kids are in school, you have your time for work, or your regular full-time work schedule, your business hours around it. But guess what happens when something happens like it did in March or April here of this year, right? The more steady you are in your work of what you want, right? And the things you need to do to get there, and then doing them over and over, you want to be able to have that flexibility to rearrange your schedule so that your work on this business and your plan for your business and your life doesn't then become a victim of circumstance. So I really would encourage everyone to take time this month, in the next week or two, to say, what will September look like? What will my days look like right now? And then what will they look like if everything turns upside down? The kids come home, or if, job hours change, or if blah, 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 because obviously we know anything can happen in a minute. So I want us as a team to be really planning ahead for that so we don't miss a beat, right? We don't have any problem like that because we've already established our goals, our reason why, our to-do list every day, and we've just committed to the fact that we're going to show up every day with that intention, 100% intention towards our business activities, because we have that goal in mind of where we want to be 1 year, 5 years, 10 years down the road. So what do you want to do? What is the plan to get there? And how are you going to remind yourself of it every single day? So keep some space in your work area where you have that stuff written down. Because the more you keep it in your forefront of your mind, the more you remember the importance of it and that you're showing up every day with that intention for your activities. Well, that's all I got. So I want to open it up to any sort of discussion you guys want to have. I know August can be a bit of like a transitional time. Anyone having like complete changes of schedule or anything like that coming up?
I think there's just a lot of unknowns, so it's kind of go with the flow. I don't know if I'm going to Brooklyn again.
Yeah.
Working from home.
When will you know?
Who knows when I'm gonna know? They're leaning towards in person, so I'm gonna plan as if I'm going to Brooklyn. That's a harder situation. So
yeah,
and my kids will be doing hybrid.
Yeah.
While we're at work. But anyway, it'll be what it'll be.
And that's the thing. Like, here's the thing: you've done it before both ways, right? You've done it from home, you've done it from the car in the commute, and so it's just a matter of being flexible, right? And knowing that either way you'll get your stuff done. Just a matter of what it's going to look like.
Yep.
So I would love for everyone even to map out what their ideal day would look like, and then what their completely worst imaginable schedule for the fall would look like, right? Because we all know it could happen. And that was pretty much like April. So it's like, what would that look like if that becomes the new norm again?
I'm going to have to get up early and get it done first thing because I'm going to be remote teaching as well as I'm going to keep my kids home.
You are?
Wow. So it's going to be a lot between teaching and getting them on what they need to be on.
Yep. I will tell you, and I think I posted this in the Team Cut page the other day. I legit have made it such an efficient power hour in the morning, like in 1 hour doing everything. Because even though I'm home now, I feel like there's always stuff that, or just like my outside of my business, there's so much other stuff that really can take almost my whole day. And even now, like our kitchen and everything. So that power hour, because I know I need to get my business first, right? MBF. I have become so efficient just so that if I literally did nothing else all day for my business, by 6 a.m., I feel like, okay, I did everything. I made 20 new connections. I invited 15 people. You know, I have my post planned and I did my workout. And so, so reasonably, like that's what I was doing before when I went to work really anyway, because I feel like my other time ends up becoming like coaching stuff, team stuff, like that kind of stuff. I always feel like it's way easier to like check in with your groups and like that kind of stuff can be done later. You have to do the 4 things, the daily vitals, like right away. And so I will challenge you to get up early enough to have a solid straight hour, because I will tell you nothing has cleared my day. Like, and knowing just, and you don't have to if you're going to have time at night, but I just don't tend to, you know, outside of the nights that we have calls, I try not to like work at night. So I really like to have it like the majority done. So this is where it comes, like set that timer, right? I'm going to do, and I actually, 4 other coaches and I are doing this like top coach, like training thing coming up for new coaches. And so one of them shared like a pre-workout power 15, like what you can do in 15 minutes. And it's just literally like time block, like spend 3 minutes, like messaging so many people, you know? So just being really efficient at that, like, and that's kind of like go right to your stories. Who's watching? Message the new people saying, thank you for watching, invite a couple people, you know, whatever it is, have your post planned. It can be super efficient if you make it efficient. So I just like encourage everyone to be really task oriented during their work time. And I'm not saying it has to be the hour straight. I'm just saying like it makes me feel comfortable that I know I have it done. And if the rest of the day goes It doesn't matter. I got those like most important things in. So if that looks like 20 minutes before your workout, 20 minutes after, before school starts, I mean, it doesn't have to be really the solid block. And if you have 20 minutes at night, it doesn't matter, but just really have that time mapped out. And not only what times will I be working, but what will I be doing in those times? So you can't just block out 20 minutes and say, this is my 20 minutes at work. You have to say, in this 20 minutes, I am going to make 10 connections, 5 challenger invites, 3 coach invites, and plan my post. Or if you time block on the weekend to plan your post, that can be out. You know, I'm going to do my PD. I'm going to whatever. During this time block, when I'm getting out of the shower, I'm going to listen to an Audible personal development. Like, be super specific on what you're doing in your work time so that you know that you're getting it done. And I will argue that the best gift for me growing this business was to be so short on time, because that's what I had to do. I had to do the high value activities. When we have more time, we give ourselves more time to get it done. And oftentimes we're just dilly-dallying, doing not the important things.
I've brought this up before. My issue are the follow-ups. Like, I think I've brought this up. In Streak, I get like emails, and then that day I have all these follow-ups to do, and I focus on those follow-ups, and then I run out of time to do anything else.
And I have been guilty of that too. And this is the last thing I do right now. Because those are usually like frequently challenger check-ins. Like, I'll even have those things in there, which end up like, really, like, your priority needs to be new people, new people, new people, new people, new people. Not that we're not serving who's at our table, because we are, but we always want to have that full funnel. And especially for you, where I know you're looking just like need to refresh your team and your group. If we're just constantly focusing on those people, like, I was just guilty of this for a while. Like, I would have like 35 follow-ups a day, and it would just like take, and I couldn't stand seeing that number. So I wanted to clear it. And then I didn't do invites. Now I'm like, those are last priority, because I know seeing them there drives me crazy enough. I'm like, I won't let it go at night. But if I do all those first, I'll be like, oh, I did work for the day. And then I wasn't getting my invites and stuff in. So I will beg you to really actually look at if you need to check in with them. So sometimes I'm like, oh, skip a week, because I'm like, I like just checked in with them 2 weeks ago. Like, they're doing great. They're participatory in the group. That's what the group is for. If I have people that really need one-on-one consultation for like to be mindset or like their meal plan, or they're like in a phase where they need me a lot, of course. But I was guilty of having way too many follow-ups that weren't really actually needing my attention. So I would rather have follow-ups for people that like you're in discussion with to start, right? And then make sure you do first the new reach outs, your invites, and your connections, like all of that stuff. Do them first. When you go to your follow-up list, if they're not someone who's giving back to you, you know what I mean? Like, you have to decide how much time you give to people. I always say by how much time they're participating in the group and investing in me. I'm not like checking in to just keep blanketly checking in. I'm always there for them, of course. But I just share this from my own personal, I did that forever, and I was running out of time, and then I wasn't growing my business. And I'm like, I'm here to grow a business.
Okay.
So I needed to really take a hard look at like who I needed to as my follow-ups with, and who didn't need such frequent check-ins as I was setting.
I did what you suggested today with the one customer discount code that I had that was checking in on like daily, and it was taking a lot of time because then I had to wait for her to respond, and then I'd be like looking. But today, before I came here, I let her, I guess, a little tough love and told her like, I feel like I'm giving you like a lot of me and I'm not getting anything back. And she was like, yeah, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, well, until I start seeing you kind of giving back, then I will be here for you. I want you to know I'm always be here for you. But I think I'm only going to check in with you once a week until we can figure something out. Yeah. And it was like, okay.
Yeah. And that's where just, she's not ready. Because if she really wants to jump in, she's like, oh my God, no, I need your help. Like, I need it. You really do bring out in people like what their really intention, what they're there for. Anyone else? Anything? Okay. Hello. Well, I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. I will post the recording once it records. And can't believe we're more than halfway through August. So, all right, guys. Well, have a good night, and I'll see you next Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good night, everybody.